Just imagine becoming so unbelievably handsome that the moment you step outside your house, crowds of girls gather around you, and handling your beauty becomes impossible for them. Something exactly like this happens in today's story. The story begins with the man's family, who for generations had been known as some of the most beautiful people alive. Because of their extraordinary looks, people admired them deeply, and this became their way of earning money. Their eldest son was like a TikTok superstar. Thanks to his charming face, he had millions of followers. Besides that, he also helped ordinary boys get girlfriends and improve their dating lives. His father, Parker, was also extremely handsome in his younger days and broke countless hearts. He had dated more than 1,200 girls before finally meeting the love of his life. His wife was also very beautiful, though she had a slightly masculine personality. Even I have my doubts about that. Their younger son, Kylan, was the most handsome person in the entire family. The whole family was proud of their beauty, but Kylan wanted to live a normal life. He often thought that if he were a little less handsome, crowds of girls wouldn't chase after him every time he stepped outside. Just catching a glimpse of his beautiful face was enough for people to go crazy. The girls would go completely crazy just by seeing him. Some would get nosebleeds, while others would start pulling their hair and jumping around in excitement. As a result, Kylan had never even been able to properly talk to a girl. He rarely went outside and had been studying from home all this time. Other than his pet fish, he had no one to talk to. He would sit alone, playing cards and chatting with the fish for hours. His behavior worried his family a lot. Many times, they tried motivating him by showing him pictures of beautiful girls and saying, "Come on, man. The world is full of girls. What are you even doing with your life?" But Kylan said that he wanted a girl who wouldn't care about his looks at all. He wanted someone to love him for his heart, not for his beauty. When none of their ideas worked, the family came up with a new plan. They decided to pretend that they were poor so they could force Kylan to start going to school. One night, when Kylan got up to drink water, he overheard his parents talking. They were saying that from now on, they would only eat eggs for breakfast so they could save enough money for Kylan's homeschooling expenses. Hearing this made him feel extremely guilty, so the very next morning he decided that he would go to school. Hearing this, the whole family started dancing with joy. But then Kylan added that he would only attend an all-boys school. Everyone's mood dropped a little, but they still agreed, thinking that at least he would finally step outside the house. On the first day of school, his brother dropped him off on a bike. But even after getting off the bike, Kylan kept his helmet on. He had decided to wear it the entire day so nobody would notice his beauty. However, the exact opposite happened. Because of the helmet, all the students kept staring at him even more. A boy named City and his gang started bothering him. When the teacher entered the class, she asked Kylan to remove his helmet. Even though he didn't want to, he had no choice but to take it off, and everyone finally saw his breathtaking face. Right after that, the teacher ended up in the hospital because the moment she saw Kylan, she was so shocked that she could barely breathe. Terrified, Kylan immediately ran back toward his house. But the troublemakers caught him on the way. They dragged him into a storeroom, where the boys dramatically introduced themselves like superheroes. It turned out that the three of them had been stuck in the same school for the past 3 years because City had only one dream: to attend the school party with the most beautiful girl in school, Amanda. Amanda only paid attention to handsome boys, so the gang decided to use Kylan as their messenger. Then, they threatened a decent and innocent boy named Kiwo and forced him to join their group as well. A little later, Kylan went to the principal to complain about the bullies. But the poor principal was already troubled because of his own son. Instead of helping, he started begging Kylan to somehow help his son get a girlfriend so he would finally leave the school. That night, Kylan felt really happy because, for the first time, he had found a good friend in Kiwo. The next morning, the two of them arrived at BBM school, where the moment people saw them, the girls immediately started screaming, "Take off this helmet guy's mask already!" They all gathered around him, desperate to see his face. And the moment Kylan removed the helmet, the entire school went into chaos. Just a few hours later, the news channels were reporting that girls were literally going crazy because of Kylan. Some were getting nosebleeds, while others were fainting and behaving wildly. Even Amanda, the most beautiful girl in school, fell in love with him the moment she saw him on the news. She decided that no matter what, she would make Kyulin hers. As the news spread everywhere, thousands of girls gathered outside Kyulin's house. His family took advantage of the situation and started charging entry tickets for girls who wanted to enter the house and see him. When Kyulin secretly witnessed all of this, he realized that his own family had been using him all along. So when they called and asked him to come back home, he clearly refused. On top of that, seeing his poor fish suffering because of the chaos caused by all those girls completely broke his heart. Now he was hiding from the girls who were searching for him everywhere, wandering alone on the rooftop of a building. Suddenly, a girl came up behind him and said, "You're not planning to jump off, are you?" Kyulin was shocked. Kyulin stared at her in shock because she was the very first girl who didn't faint after seeing him. Just looking at her made Kyulin's heart race, and he couldn't even say a single word. After that, the girl also stayed silent and simply walked away. A little later, Kyulin went to Kiwo's house to spend the night. Kiwo and his grandmother took great care of him. While sitting in Kiwo's room, Kyulin noticed some very rare collectible cards and became really excited because he also loved collecting those kinds of cards. The next day, the two of them went to the girls' school to search for the mysterious rooftop girl. There, they met Amanda, who they gave City's letter to Amanda. Amanda tried to act like she didn't care about Kyulin's beauty, but the moment he left, she also got a nosebleed. On the rooftop stairs, Kyulin saw that same mysterious girl again, but he couldn't talk to her because she was surrounded by a crowd of girls. Over the next few days, Kyulin and Kiwo stayed together and developed a strong friendship. The next day, Kiwo took Kyulin to watch a football match, where a girl named Waktmir Nam was also present. Kiwo really liked her and wanted to meet her. After the match, Kyulin suddenly spotted the rooftop girl again and he just kept staring at her. Then Kiwo came and introduced them, saying her name was Layer. Only then did Kyulin realize that Kiwo also liked the same girl. Kyulin and Kiwo were very good friends, but seeing them together made Kyulin feel jealous. He couldn't sleep properly that night because he didn't understand what he should do. Finally, he remembered that his brother Kiwo was actually something of a love guru, so he decided to ask him for help. The next morning, when Kyulin stood in front of him, Kiwo's eyes lit up. He had always wanted to help Kyulin talk to girls, and now he finally had the chance. Kyulin had forgiven his family too, because he realized that if he had never gone outside, he would never have met Rare. Later, both brothers went out to buy groceries, where Kiwo explained to Kyulin how he could talk to the girl he liked. Kyulin followed his advice exactly, but soon he realized that he didn't actually know Rare as well as Kiwo did. Still, he refused to give up. One day, Amanda came to the boys' school and invited Kyulin to her birthday party. She also handed him a phone and said, "Babu, just call me on this. Okay?" In the evening, Kiwo took Kyulin to meet Rare. They went out for a walk, and there Kyulin realized that Rare also liked Kiwo. Seeing them together made him feel a strange jealousy. After Kiwo left, Kyulin directly asked Rare if she liked Kiwo. At first, she denied it, but when Kyulin lied and said that Kiwo actually loved Amanda, Rare's expression suddenly changed. Now it was clear that Rare also had feelings for Kiwo. After returning home, Kyulin called Amanda and asked her for help. Amanda, who was deeply in love with Kyulin, was ready to do anything for him. The next day, on Amanda's birthday, Kyulin and Kiwo. When they arrived, Amanda suddenly ignored Kyulin and started focusing entirely on Kiwo. She pulled him aside, and just then Rare also arrived at the party. Rare saw Amanda kissing Kiwo, and her heart completely broke. She ran away from there. Kyulin immediately ran after her and confessed his feelings. But Rare replied that she only saw him as a friend. In the end, Kyulin felt like he had lost everything. He had betrayed his only friend, and still didn't get the girl he loved. Felt like there was nothing worse than this. Meanwhile, City and his gang also, seeing Kiwo kissing Amanda, City and his gang, got furious and brutally beat him up. Kyulin stood far away watching everything, but he didn't have the courage to step in and stop it. Later, he took Kiwo back home and treated his injuries. Watching his friend in pain made Kulin realize that he had made a huge mistake. He felt deep regret for what he had done. Finally, he confessed everything to Kiwo. Kiwo was shocked after hearing the truth. He said that if he had known Kulin also liked Rare, he would have stepped back himself. But because of Kulin's deception, things had gone too far, and now their friendship was shaken. He didn't want to talk to anyone anymore, so he locked himself in his room. He missed his friend deeply. At home, his mother gave him his fish, which was completely fine and healthy. Listening to his mother made Kulin realize how much his family actually loved him. Now he decided that he would definitely try to bring Kiwo and Rare together. The next morning, he went and told Rare everything honestly. After that, he went to Kiwo and tried to apologize. At first, Kiwo acted a little stubborn, but during their conversation, Kulin managed to make Kiwo admit how much he truly loved Rare. Later, it was revealed that Kiwo and Rare both actually still cared for each other, but due to misunderstandings and Kulin's earlier lie, things had gone in the wrong direction. Kulin finally realized that instead of chasing love for himself, he had unintentionally become the reason for two good people getting hurt. So he stepped back completely and decided to fix what he had broken. He brought Kiwo and Rare together and cleared all misunderstandings between them. In the end, Kiwo and Rare reunited. Amanda moved on, and Kulin finally understood something important. Real happiness wasn't in beauty or attention, but in honest relationships and true friendship.